What's going on, guys? Happy Saturday, start of the weekend. We have a 9-game Draftkings and Fanduel slate today. We're looking at that, and then I'll have a prize picks video out after this. Didn't have a video yesterday for the first time in really well over a month. Posted the picks on Twitter, though. So if you can check out Twitter, it's at the DFS process for updates. If you did check out the prize picks yesterday on Twitter, they did go 4-1. So made double your money if you used them. Today, we're starting with the Draftkings video. Let's get started. As always, if you enjoy the videos, hit the like button for me, subscribe, check out the website if you want to join for football or NBA, and let's get started. So, point guard picks, we got some injury news today. Luka Doncic is out. On the Houston side, both Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green are out today. That's going to open up the door for a lot of usage and a lot of good value on the Houston side going against Detroit and that poor defense. So those are probably the two biggest spots that we have right now. And then we know with Phoenix, they get a good matchup against the Spurs. And Devin Booker continues to be out. They're still missing some other bench pieces. So Cam Johnson, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, they all look like good plays. Starting with point guard, looking at Chris Paul today, he's not $7,900 only. Great matchup against San Antonio. It's on the road. They are the worst defense in the league, giving up 122 points a game, letting opponents shoot over 50% from the floor, which is insane. They're dead last in points per game, dead last in field goal percentage allowed. The Suns, they're getting a little healthier slowly, having Paul back, having Ayton back. Surely they'll get Booker back sooner than later. He's already missed so much games. And I like Paul to get a double-double today easily with how much they should score. You should see good minutes, with them being a little banged up. Still could see the Spurs hang in this game and let these Suns players play their full minutes. So, sub $8,000, you can sign me up for some Chris Paul. Over at shooting guard, your top end pieces, nothing too crazy that I'm looking at. You have the Boston Lakers game, should be fun. Tatum's been playing out of his mind, and he's going to get up for a game against LeBron James and Davis there. Looking in the 8K range, you have DeJounte Murray right at 8K flat. That looks good. Ingram should still be on a minutes limit, so passing on him. Then you get to Spencer Dinwiddie. Like that he's point guard and shooting guard eligible. He's going to be the man today against Utah without Doncic and without Christian Wood again. So you should see high minutes, high 30s, maybe even touch 40 minutes today, depending on how the game goes. It's on the road. Utah's played tough at home, so expecting a close game. And I probably think Utah will win this game, with the Mavs being a bit shorthanded, but Dinwiddie's been hot from three recently. Got to the line 14 times last game, and he's going to facilitate. He's a good rebounder. Back with his days with Brooklyn, we know. He's a kind of a do-it-all point guard. Taking out Luka just opens up the door for so much usage and so many more minutes and production to be had. I got to like Dinwiddie. Over at small forward, LeBron is 11-6. Davis is back. He played well coming off the bench in his first game. I like Tatum more than LeBron today. He's 11-1. You definitely have the value to fit him in if you wanted to. But there's some other guys in the 5K range that I'm looking at small forward. Scroll down to that range. And Anunoby left the game early last night, so if he doesn't play on a back-to-back, Trent looks good. Siakam, Van Fleet, they look better. 5K range, you have Cam Johnson, who looks awesome at 55. And then you have KJ Martin at 52, who I like. And then you're going to get to Eric Gordon at 45. And Gordon's going to be able to score a lot more, play more minutes, and probably take 15-plus shots today. He's going to chip in with some peripheral stats like rebounds and assists. Price tag is good for a guy that gives you over 30-point upside and playing with Jalen Green and KPJ for most of the year. He doesn't get as many looks as he typically might want. No, he's a veteran, but today against Detroit was another poor defense, second last in points per game allowed. I think he'll be able to at least score and be a nice value piece at this price tag. And then another Houston piece that I'm looking at is KJ Martin, because he's only $5,200. He's going to see a good amount of minutes, at least mid-30s, I'd say. He's one of the most efficient forwards in terms of just field goal percentage, shooting 55%. He can get to the rim at will. He can dunk. He doesn't shoot doesn't shoot really well from the three-point line or the free throw line, but on his field goal percentages that are inside the arc, he's making a very high percentage of them. Gives you good rebounding opportunities, and just like him overall as a fantasy piece. So he's another guy that you can look to besides Cam Johnson in that 5K range that looks pretty loaded. You have Kyle Anderson playing well. Gets a good matchup, John Collins. Only 6K, Grant's down to 61. There's a lot of good value in the mid-range. And then last but not least at center, going with another Phoenix piece, and that's going to be 76 for Ayton. Going up against Jakob Poeltl and company. He should get the minutes against another fellow big. Kind of Poeltl doesn't like to leave the basket, so he should get some good rebounding opportunities. He's going to be more aggressive. He's taken 20 shots the last 2 games. Even just made 6 field goals last game and gave you still 51 fantasy points and pulled down 20 boards. That's one of his worst scoring performance or shooting performances you'd expect from a guy that takes most of his shots at the within 15 feet of the basket. Earlier this year against the Spurs, he just played 25 minutes but gave you good production. You see him give him more uptick in minutes without Booker, more usage, more shots. I like him to probably flirt with another 50-point outing. So those are the 5 pieces I have right now on DraftKings. Let's talk about FanDuel. All right, on FanDuel, point guard options. Now your Damian Lillard coming off of his crazy good performance. Last game he dropped the most efficient 60-point night in NBA history. You can definitely look to him against Toronto if you wanted to. Other good options would be like Fox, and I like Murray a little bit. Chris Paul, 81. Going back to him, I think he's going to have a good game today. Probably rack up some steals also against the Spurs defense. Those it's another piece I'm looking at from the DraftKings side. And then 6K range, if you needed to go down here, you have like Simons and Trey Jones and Brogdon as decent values, but I do like the 8K range at point guard. Shooting guard, once again, you can look to some of these Houston pieces that are going to be cheap. If you just filter by their team. You do have like Christopher off the bench is going to score or get some good decent minutes. He can score a little bit. Gordon at 51 still looks pretty solid if you needed to go to him again. But another piece I'm looking at is Tim Hardaway. He's only $5,300. He should get a good amount of shots off and play a good amount of minutes, being the, maybe he could even lead the team in scoring tonight. Him and Dinwiddie should take a good amount of shots. I like his price tag a lot at 53. Small forward, you have Paul George and Kuzma has some decent price tags. Brown looks good at his price tag. And then you're looking for values. Anderson looks a little pricey. I like him on DraftKings better. Like Cam Johnson for sure. Then I like Kenyon Martin, KJ Martin, whatever you want to call him. He's 56 on FanDuel. Similarly priced, a little more expensive on FanDuel than DraftKings, but he's going to get rebounds. He's going to get more shots without Green there. And no KPJ once again. I wouldn't be surprised if he has like 20 points, 10 rebounds. He definitely has that sort of potential. Going over to power forward, I like Tatum a lot at 11-2. He's been crushing it recently. Going with another cheap option. Grant looks good at his price tag. Collins at 6K. I'm going to Cam Johnson at 6,000. Another Phoenix piece. They should rack up the points against the Spurs, and Paul, Cam Johnson, and are going to be the guys that are going to contribute the most to the scoring. And then at center, Sengun is 84. He looks fine. Ayton at 77. I like him again. I like Ayton. I like Vooch a little bit. I definitely like Sengun. Vooch going up against his former team, if you wanted to play that scenario. And then value-wise, Collins and Durant looks fine too. But I like the Suns pieces a lot. I like the Houston guys. Dallas are the 3 teams I'm looking at the most. So that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Best of luck, and I'll catch you all next time.